BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 12.
Sunny and Shay. BBC
Radio London.
3 minutes past 12. A very good morning. It is Sunny and Shay here with you tonight until 1 o'clock. And a lot to come in this hour of the show. But what we really would like to do is delve straight into our next paper reviewer who's been waiting very patiently. We are joined on the line by comedian, stand-up comedian and writer Tom Mayhew. He has actually not only spoken to us a while ago, but since then been a busy guy. So Tom, it's great to have you back on BBC Radio London. And I know, as someone who is a stand-up comedian, we're not keeping you up because late night's where it's at, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a message from your producer saying, is it okay if we chat to you quite late? And I was still on the train home from Manchester today, so wow. I was pretty all right. I've only just got in, got myself a cup of tea, and I'm happy to chat.
Oh, that's amazing!
Fantastic, because you had your preview gig in Manchester. You've got another one, of course, at Camden Fringe on the 2nd of August, haven't you? And then straight after that, you head out to Edinburgh Fringe for this time next year. We'll Be Millionaires.
Yeah, that's the title of the show, and it's going to be very busy. As you said, I'm doing the final preview at the Camden Fringe on August the 2nd, and then literally less than an hour later, I'll be on the train up to Edinburgh.
Wow. No rest for the wicked, Tom.
No, I know. Sometimes you're doing these things and you feel like either it'll drive you insane or you already are insane. I'm not sure which one.
I love that. And can I ask you, is it easier to fly to Scotland and cheaper, or is the train the best option?
Well, I always think the train is a bit nicer. I think the way it works out, it actually might be slightly cheaper to fly.
Okay.
But I like the train. I don't have the hassle of having to find my passport because I've no idea where I've put it, to be honest.
And then you have to look after your passport for the whole month that you're at Fringe as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm bound to accidentally give it away or
give away my passport. That's just brilliant. Part of the prize. Tell us about this time next year I'll be a millionaire. So what is that all about?
Well, it's my show for this year, and I was thinking of writing a show about the cost of living crisis and how we're all quite skint. And then I thought, no, I want to do something that's a bit different. And I was going to write a show, and this show is basically me going, I'm a bit bored of being poor, so I'm going to become a millionaire through this show. That's my idea for it. I don't know whether it'll happen. We'll see how well Edinburgh goes, I guess.
And when you talk about, I guess, the common, traits or issues that we all go through. We all have to pay the bills. We all have to eat. And there's a lot of commonality when it comes down to finance and how we are affected economically. Others, more so, they can talk about the positive and the negatives. How do you talk about finance in a positive way and trying to be a millionaire in this climate?
Well, I think there's always humour to be found in any sort of situation. Yes. I think that's a lot of the time how me and my family have got through tough times. There's a story in my show where there was a recent thing I had where I went into the kitchen and Mum was really laughing at this email she'd got, and she was going I've got this email from a scammer saying we've taken £600 from your bank account. And she was laughing. She was laughing again. She went, as if I've got £600.
They must be looking at the wrong account, mate. That is just a brilliant story. That just sums it up, doesn't it? I mean, seriously, now I know you're a scammer, because if I ever had £600 in my account, it would have been out by a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd get in touch with a scammer and be like, mate, can you owe me some money? Because if you've got that, I don't know where I've hidden it. Can you tell me where it is?
Tell you where it is. Can you find me some more money actually in my account? Here's my bank details. Go ahead, knock yourself out. I love it, Tom. And Tom, I guess, the phrase, this time next year I'll be a millionaire, taken from an amazing, sitcom here in the UK, Only Fools and Horses. And that story only works because it's a couple of brothers with their grandfather and then their uncle playing against the odds, trying to, do the wheeling and dealing and looking for a dream to become a millionaire. But the humour's always been in just trying to get that million. And when they were millionaires, it wasn't as funny as when they weren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I think a lot of the humour and the excitement of following the story comes from that journey, and I'm trying to sort of encapsulate that idea in my show and sort of celebrate sort of the journey, and almost it sounds weird to say celebrate the struggle, but I think that's kind of what it is, because that's what a lot of people can relate to. And it's the strange thing watching stuff like Only Fools and Horses, because I've already watched it this year, and there's bits in it where they talk about, lots of people being unemployed,
yes.
a recession, and people struggling. And I'm like, this could be 2023, to be honest.
So true. And like you said, the struggle, the hustle, someone just trying to find a cheap something and selling it for something else. And then, we see this now online more, and it's more easier for all of us to become a Del Boy online, as opposed to finding a market stall, or even pitching up your wares where you haven't got a license and the cops chasing you down. It is just literally the same story, but now we see it playing out online, and there's a lot more people doing it and more savvy to it, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's easier than ever to become a Del Boy, which is both a terrifying situation, but also quite exciting if you skin, I think.
I agree. I totally agree. With that said as well, I mean, entertainment is a really big part of, everybody's life, and getting into a communal space where everyone's having the same shared experience. 3 films have come out so far. We've had Tom Cruise doing the outing with his Mission Impossible. This weekend we saw Oppenheimer and also Barbie. These are 3 completely different kind of films on the same time in your Cineplex. I mean, we haven't seen this kind of variations of films in a long time. Even before the pandemic, we saw superhero films that dominated for ages, and we didn't have that much variety as we did in this month. What's your take on when it comes to comedy? Do you see that same kind of diversity and that kind of range when it comes down to live entertainment as well, that there's more options out there for you to see the kind of stuff you want to?
Yeah, totally. I think a bit like with things at cinema, like you say, and with things online, I do feel like there's more diversity than ever, and there's more people sort of in charge or at the top of these things who are actually out there looking for diversity. They're actually out there looking for different, unique stories and trying to push them. And that goes in comedy, that goes in film, that goes in TV. And I think it's for that reason, it's actually a really exciting time to sort of be working in the arts, because it feels like for decades, there would be a lot of people who would be overlooked for basically not going to Oxford or Cambridge. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing where a lot of people from the past would have had to have gone to certain universities or a certain background to have a better chance of getting on telly, whereas now it feels like there's more doors open and there's more people looking for new things. And the thing I found really interesting about the whole Barbie, and the other one's Oppenheimer, is that
yes, that's
called?
right, that's his name, Oppenheimer,
And how I know a load of people who went to see both back to back.
Wow.
And
commitment, mate, commitment.
Honestly, it's this whole big trend I've seen, and people have been like, they dress in pink to see Barbie, and then they dress in serious clothes to see Oppenheimer, and I think that's incredible. And it's
genius.
I've never quite known it be a case where people want to see 2 films back to back that are so different, and I think it has opened up a whole world of new sort of film crossovers that there could be, like that people could go and see something. I just think, I mean, surely a Barbie Oppenheimer sort of a crossover film that has to be in the works.
I'm telling you, I did ask one of our film critics earlier on in the show that, while you were on the train, I asked her if Oppenheimer and Barbie ever met, would they get on with each other? Do you know what I mean? And she goes, it's the kind of question I expect from you, Sunny, and I really don't have an answer for that, even though she's seen both the films. With yourself, I guess, what's the kind of comedy that you got, or what kind of entertainment when you're not working, even though you're always working? I mean, Shay just gave the schedule of what you're going to be doing over the next, couple of weeks and months. But what entertains you? Are you a homebody, or do you go out? Do you look for different kind of entertainment in music? And what kind of arts excite you?
Kind of a little bit of everything. I do try and discover new things and see new things, and I think you've got to keep an open mind to what you're going to check out and what you're going to like, because there's always going to be new exciting things where you go, I didn't expect to enjoy that, but I really did.
Wow.
I did go to see, what was it, last week? I went to see the musical, what's it called?
What was it about?
Something Project. It was about a World War One something.
Shay, World War One musical. Do you know what it's about?
Operation Mincemeat, that's what it was
Oh,
called.
brilliant. What, even the name?
I was literally typing as you said that. Yeah.
God, okay, go for it. Yeah. And
So
how was that?
I went to see it with my girlfriend. She's seen it a couple of times. And it was absolutely brilliant, man. And it's that kind of lovely thing where it's a really upbeat, funny, silly musical, but it's also based in a true story. And the true story of this Operation Mincemeat and the sort of unheralded characters we wouldn't know about. And I just think stuff like that, where you can be really entertained, you can have a big smile on your face, you can really be laughing.
Yeah.
But you can also learn stuff and sort of think about stuff when you leave. And it's like, there's nothing else that can do that in the world than the arts.
I agree. And then, sometimes people say it's really expensive, but when or people can't afford it, we can understand why. We've been talking about the cost of living as well tonight. And Marisha gave us some techniques on how we can, manage our expectations of what we can do in the next couple of months and moving forward over this year. But at the same time, when you go to these spaces and you go for that 1 or 3 hours, it is escapism, isn't it? You go into these spaces and you do forget the world. And if the people are doing their job properly, like yourselves, either making us laugh or someone putting on a play or we go and watch a movie, that is escapism with your loved one. And that's what you're trying to do when you go to the arts. You're trying to escape the world that you live in for even if it is for an hour or two.
Yeah, well, and I think that, a lot of people they stream a lot of stuff and watch stuff online, but I do still think there's something very special about either being sat in the theatre or at a live comedy gig or a music gig or, going to see a play or a musical or whatever, because when you're watching stuff at home, you can so often have your phone on or you have another tab open on the internet or whatever, whereas when it's live in front of you, that's all gone. Your phone has to be off, you're fully focused, and as you say, that's pure escapism for that hour, for that 2 hours. You're just in that room, you're just in that story, and that's healthy. I think that's what we need to help us cope, because you need some time where you have 2 hours away from your own brain and your own situation.
So true. Let me ask you about your career for a second, for anyone who doesn't know. I mean, when you decided you wanted to be a comedian, how did you break that to the family who invested in your education and thinking that wasn't your life plan when you were a little kid? Like my little daughter, if she tomorrow says, I'm going to be a comedian, and I'm like, I'm not thinking of her being a comedian right now. I've got other aspirations for her. But obviously she's going to do her life path. How do you do that? And how did you manage to tell your family that this is going to be your path?
Yeah,
and were they supportive?
Well, my mum was supportive, and she was like, that's really creative and lovely, and it's really nice, and that was really exciting. Whereas the first thing my dad said when I said I did an open mic gig, he just went, oh, did you get paid?
I love your dad.
Proper dad question. Only a dad would say that.
Can you pay the mortgage? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. He was like, can I borrow a tenner now? I was like, no, I'm not Michael McIntyre yet. It's
I'm
not how it
there,
works.
Dad.
Brilliant.
Just yet.
So have you got close to give your dad a tenner? How far are you from that?
Well, I mean, let's just say if Edinburgh goes well, I'll give him a tenner. So,
that's so cool, man. That's so cool.
But I'm interested. What is your career you'd want your daughter to do? Because have you got an idea of?
What do you want our daughter to do?
So my daughter, it's really interesting because my daughter, she's like yourself. She likes singing, she likes dancing, and she loves performing. But then she gets very shy,
she has
right?
No confidence.
Yeah, but she'll get that. I mean, that happens later on. It's good. Right now, she just needs to home in her skills and be embarrassing in front of her parents instead of a big audience, right? And so she can do all the testing on us, and we'll encourage her and be honest with her. But then I'm also putting in her head, no, listen, you don't want to go to audition. You're the person who should be auditioning for other people to support you. So I want her to be the business side of entertainment so that she can always have the option of going and performing, but never looking for the gig. Instead of, she should be creating the gig. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
You're going to make her like the boss of the industry, aren't you? She's going to be a superstar.
That's the plan.
Yeah, so, I actually have no expectations at this moment because she's only 5.
Yeah,
I feel like those for me will come as she becomes a teenager and she starts to articulate to me what she likes.
Yeah, teenagers, you don't want to talk to them too much.
I know, but I think for me, like if I'm answering honestly, Tom, seeing as how you've asked, I grew up in a household where you aspired to do and be more than where you were. Being very working class, it meant getting an education. So paramount for me, she has to be educated. Yeah. She has to go to university. After that, the world's their oyster.
And you know when they say, Tom, dress for the job you want, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when we started working at the BBC, there was this one show that we were going to do, and they said, you should dress for the job you want, right? So I came into my next show in a Batman outfit. And they go, why are you wearing a Batman outfit? I said, I want to be a superhero. That's my aspiration.
Did you lose your job by doing
No, I'm still here winning awards, bruv. That's where I'm at.
Oh, mate, that's hilarious.
And the thing is, I guess, you don't have those conversations every day, do you? I mean, like, I know there's this one guy who I used to do courier driving, and I used to do driving up and down the motorway, listening to radio, which I love. And Joe Good was one of the people I listened to at late nights. And there was this one courier driver that I used to see, and he used to dress up in a 3-piece suit to go and do deliveries because there was no uniform. And I said, dude, he goes, if people see me in this, they'll see who I want to be and where I'm going to end up. And I was like, wow, it's just a different take and a different way of thinking about where you are and where you're going to be, and actually using your clothes to project that out into the universe. And now he was one of the guys who worked for these companies. He's one of the managers, if not the directing managers of that certain place.
So what's your point, Sonny? Aspire to do more.
No, just dress for the job you want.
Okay.
Not the one you're doing.
So, Tom, when you go to do these gigs, are you turning up in a 3-piece suit then?
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm probably more likely to turn up dressed up as Batman, to be honest.
You know what you should do? Dress up like a millionaire. It just makes sense, mate. It just makes sense, doesn't it? And it has to be the millionaire that Del Boy would see, with the Filofax and all of that lovely stuff. Just walking on stage and thinking, this is what I think a millionaire dresses like.
Oh, mate, if I open my show with that, I might have to give you a credit now.
Oh, go for it. I love credit every now and then, but it does make sense, doesn't it? I mean, like, this time next year, I'm going to be a millionaire. And yesterday, I was talking to Sunny on the BBC, and he said, dress for the job you want in the future. And there you go. You walk on stage like this millionaire.
You've got to rock it out with all of the pound notes, mate. You've got to be throwing those, even if they're fake pound notes.
Oh, you know what? Go one step further. Get the biggest mobile phone you can find. You remember that Target TV?
Yeah.
Just go on stage like, oh, go. I'm on the gig. I'm doing my gig.
That would be quite something, actually.
It'd be genius.
Listen, Tom, so lovely having you on the show tonight. And let's just give out those dates again, because as we did mention, you're going to be here in London for your gig. It's literally hours before you get to Edinburgh. So if people want to see you, it's the 2nd of August for your preview show at Camden Fringe, before then heading to Edinburgh Fringe from the 3rd through to the 27th of August, which for the show this time next year will be Millionaires. And people can go to tommayhew.co.uk for further details. Please tell me you didn't make your dad pay to come and see you in Edinburgh Fringe.
No, he'll be one of the few people who I let in for free. Don't you worry.
Oh, lovely.
I was going to say, if you want to get fed on Sundays, mate, you better make sure.
Exactly. and have you got the whole family coming? Is Dad Dad the heckler or?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are the polite hecklers. They'll put their hand up and then heckle me.
I love that.
Do they find you funny though, Tom?
Yeah, well, I think they. Oh, well, sometimes. I think they do. I think they enjoy it, and I think the bits they mainly enjoy are the bits that are about them.
I love that.
Luckily, I do chat about them quite a lot, and they always. I think they secretly really like being the stars of the show. So.
And you know what? My daughter today, we went to our friend's house, right? So I was one of those parents. I was like, she sings in the car, and today I said, "Goody, why don't you sing?" And she goes, "Oh, okay." And we put the song on in the background, and she started singing, and everyone's watching her, and I thought, oh no, this is just so bad. I'm making her do her little thing in front of people. I became one of those parents. So does your parents ever say, oh, look, our son, he's a comedian. Tom, tell us a joke.
Tell a joke.
Come on,
make us laugh.
Make us laugh. Do they do that in front of their friends just to say how amazing you are at comedy?
No, I mean, luckily they don't. But just you guys pretending to say tell us a joke did give me quite a bit of anxiety just then.
Luckily, we're not going to be in Edinburgh Fringe. We're live here in BBC Radio London.
Exactly,
otherwise, we would have loved to have seen you. Tom, so great having you on the show tonight, and thanks for staying up. I know it wasn't especially for us.
He's a comedian, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Tom,
it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, but don't go. I just want to ask you one thing before you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a funny guy. You know good writing and good comedy, right?
I like to think so, yeah.
Good. Okay, I'm going to run this by you because my wife didn't get... She was live on air and I thought she's being too serious. Let me send her a text of a joke, right?
Okay.
So this is what I sent her. Shay, do you want to read it out?
Okay, wait, let me just find the joke.
She's going to get the joke. Please tell me if you wouldn't get this straight away. She didn't get it. She sent me... I'll tell you what she sent me. She sent me question mark, right?
And I went, what does he mean by this?
Then
I'm live on air.
Hold on. Then in capital letters, I said, read it again or get one of your staff to read it to you.
Yeah, you said read it to one of your producers.
Right.
Okay, so this
ready?
is what he texted me. He WhatsApped me.
All right, let's see how...
By the way, can I just say, Tom, Sunny is dyslexic. So I read it first thinking, oh, he must have got confused about this, until I realised that, oh, actually it's me.
Okay.
And I'm just not funny.
Let's see how long it takes Tom to laugh.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready, Shay?
Yeah, go on then.
Go.
I'm going to write a book about how not to fall downstairs. It's going to be a step-by-step guide. Thumbs up.
Straight away. Straight away.
I did not get it.
And he didn't.
I kid you not, producer Stephen. I put question marks like, what does that mean? And then he wrote, read it again. If not, read it to one of your producers, Shay. And then I wrote, oh, ha 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 ha. So I didn't think it was that funny. And then I wrote, and then Sunny said, Shay, you can use it on the radio.
She didn't even know what the
And then I said, I got it the second time, Sunny.
So, Tom's finding it funny. Tom, what would you give that joke out of 10?
I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I think
No, that was dire. I'm just encouraging him now. That was absolutely dire. I've literally got this photo. I should screenshot this and
We
put
should.
it up.
I think it's really
It's quite
funny.
embarrassing because I literally did
Tom,
not know.
You've been such a pleasure, mate. Thank you for judging my joke. I really appreciate you. Have a good time at the Fringe.
You can add that to your job title list now: stand-up comedian, writer, and also occasional joke judge.
it's the job I've always wanted.
Yeah,
There you
as
go,
said,
mate.
live on BBC Radio London, so you can take that, mate.
There you go.
Listen, lovely having you on the show, and best of luck at Edinburgh Fringe. We look forward to catching up with you a little bit later on in the year to find out how it all went. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Cheers. Thanks very much.